The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Don't be scared now, but it looks like you just wandered straight into U-Mind country. That's U-Mind, short for unaffiliated mind games, and you ain't never gonna be the same again. Brace yourself. It's time for a red-hot truth injection. Oh yeah, that's right, we're rounding up the sheeple and shaking them awake. U-Mind, too damn bad. We're gonna set fire to the wool over your eyes. Feel the burn, baby. Hot. We're toppling the lies of the mainstream media, one by one. Woo-wee! Watch them bad boys fall. Hey, Universe A, this is Universe B, call it, and we're gonna tear you a new one. You mind?
Okay, hey everybody, it's me, Napoleon Doom, here with Horrorgasm today, and we are talking to Gabe Valentine of Digital Lizards of Doom. Hi, Gabe.
Woo! What's up, Nat?
Not too much. Having a good day. Very excited to hear from you again. And the people at home might be asking themselves, what are Digital Lizards of Doom? Well, we have a little video that's going to explain that for you.
Ooh, yeah, there's my homeworld of Craglodon where I grew up. And there's me and my bestie Klugus. She's always giving me crap about something. Oh hey, welcome new homies. My name is Dizzy Doom, and I'm one of the heroes, the best hero of the Digital Lizards of Doom universe. I guess I'm supposed to give you a tour of the D-Lod world, huh? Creator and writer Mr. Gay Man Dude has built this beautiful love letter, Saturday morning cartoons, video games, and science fiction movies. Ernie Nahara brings me and my crew to life with his mighty pencil and inking skills. And Margot Pro Dawn makes us look like cool Cat City Slicker butt kickers. Speaking of cats, here's my pirate friend Fat Cat Rogers. Yeah, he's a cyborg cat pirate, kinda tight. Okay, let me tell you more about what makes Digital Lizards of Doom so rad. For one, the entire adventure takes place in a fictional world that exists in a virtual tablet, where the reader gets to experience the story from the point of view of the characters and their communication in a text-to-text format, complete with their own emoticons, so every emotion is clear and precise. Nextly, the entire world is built and set up like an adventure RPG, a place that feels ever-evolving yet linear in its storytelling, with purpose, attention to detail, and a strong focus on character growth. Even nextlier, each book will play out like an adventure game, where the focus remains on the title character of the book. For example, Book 1 or Level 1 being Dizzy Doom, me. Level 2 being another character, and so on and so on. The story will proceed as it's read, but each main character will have their moment to shine. And lastliest, Digital Lizards of Doom has its own band. The band brings a Saturday morning style adventure into venues all over the world, where attendees can battle for justice with myself, Dizzy Doom, or join the evil robot commander Echo. Each month, the band produces new content that brings a whole new level of storytelling, never before witnessed in any physical or metaphysical books. Enjoy this epic fantasy adventure for the laughs and the thrills, or dig deeper to uncover the mysteries that will either spell out victory or certain doom. Alright, well I'm gonna go get back to eating pineapples and saving the universe. See you around, homies!
Wow, so that is really exciting. Very cool. So it's really just like a full immersive experience. It's a comic book, it's a band, you've got puppets, you've got interaction. It's, wow, you've created this whole world, haven't you, Gabe?
I hope so. Sometimes I feel like, all the characters and stuff kind of live up here in my head. So this is just a way of kind of getting them out there and trying to get them to stop yelling at me all the time. So
yeah. I totally feel you. When did you first become aware of these characters crawling around inside of your head?
So probably back in 2012, I want to say. and I was trying to get into comic book writing, and so I was like, well, what's the best way to get into writing? Well, I should probably have a book. So I started writing this story, and it was called Digital Lizards of Doom, and I just wanted to have this. Well, I've said this a couple times in other interviews too, but I just wanted to have this, even down to the name, have a homage to all of the stuff that I grew up loving and reading and listening to. And so Digital Lizards of Doom in itself is an homage to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so I wanted to just have I just never wanted it to be pigeonholed. It was always something that could be ever evolving. And so I wrote the story pretty much with how it can be read now. And then I didn't have too much luck breaking into the comic book world as a writer. So I said, well, I have this story. Maybe I can put some music to it, and maybe that'll help beef up the awareness of it. And then, once I feel like I've gotten to a certain point, maybe I can pitch the book again and be like, hey, look, all these people, are already into this thing. And so I just started writing music underneath the same name, Digital Lizards of Doom, and then just having these little stories that went along with what the actual book was going to be about. And then the music thing kind of took off, and we ended up getting signed to an Australian record label. We started touring, and so the book kind of went on the back burner for a while. Not intentionally per se, but I was just following where I felt people wanted to hear the stories. And so then we kind of plateaued at a certain point, and I said, maybe right now would be a good time to bring the actual book. People know who Commander Echo is, they know who Dizzy Doom is, they see him at shows and they take pictures with them, but they don't actually know the story of how these characters came to be enemies. So after that, I just said, all right, I'm gonna take some time and I'm just gonna finish off the book and then hopefully find a publisher and then and put myself back to that grueling process of being turned down a gazillion times. And then here we are, and the book's coming out soon, so it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that is definitely like a labor of love. It sounds like you've been at this for a while. Now, you are signed right now with Clover Press, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And it feels weird to say because when I first heard about Clover Press, it was in 2018, and I wanted to... I had heard that IDW, obviously, which has Ninja Turtles and Transformers and all these things that I love, that was my dream publisher. And I had been, I just hadn't heard back from them. I had submitted a couple of times, and I didn't hear back from them. And then I talked to somebody who worked there, and they said, yeah, we're not really looking for anything new right now. We have a lot of licenses and IPs that we don't even know what to do with as it is. So we want to make sure that those are out there and they're strong, and we're going to keep making books and stories based on the stuff that we already have. And I said, that's cool. That's fair. And then I kind of bummed out, but I get it. They have, IDW has, they have Samurai Jack and Godzilla and Star Trek and Transformers and 30 Days of Night, and just the list goes on and on and on. It's crazy. So I got that, and I was a little bummed, but then I heard in 2018 that they were going to be doing, IDW was going to be launching this new company. I didn't know the name of it at the time, but that was going to be focusing on smaller, more independent books. So even though I didn't know the name Clover Press at the time, I told the producer of the book, who actually used to work, his name's Chance Boren, who actually used to work for IDW, I said, get me a meeting with whatever this new company is. I don't even know the name, but just can you get me a meeting? And he was like, yeah, I'll try. And, he reached out a couple times and heard back, but they weren't really accepting books yet, and they were still trying to figure out their stuff. And I said, okay, that's fine. And so I just started looking at other companies. And then this year in 2020, I actually got a chance to meet some of the people at Clover Press. And they came by the booth to say hi to Chance, because they by the way, the producer of the book, Chance Boren, he's actually the first employee at IDW ever back in the 90s. He was employee number 1, which I didn't know until Clover Press came by the booth and they were talking to him. I'm like, so what are you doing? What are you working on? And he's like, oh, I work with this guy Gabe, and he has this story, and it's called Digital Lizards of Doom. And he's like, oh, is this the thing you've been talking to us about? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm right here, guys. Like, I've been trying to get you guys to look at me and stuff. And they're like, yeah, well, let's take a look at it. And so I was like, well, here's my chance. So I took literally all of the money I had, and I just tried to put together the most amazing press kit ever. And they liked it. And then I had a couple meetings with them, and they were like, oh, we like this, we don't like that, we want to do this, what if we did this instead? And then we did that back and forth for about a couple months. And then I got a phone call from who's now, I guess, technically my rep for Clover Press. And he said, his name's Nate Murray, and he says, yeah, we really like what we've seen, and I might have some good news for you by the end of the day, so keep your phone by you. And I'm like, what? oh, okay. And so, and then, yeah, he called me later and was like, yeah, we want to sign the book. And I cried, and I couldn't believe it. So it was just kind of an amazing journey that, like, I wanted to be on IDW originally, and then finding out about this new company that they had. And then it was like a puppy in the window. This is back in 2018, Comic-Con 2018. I first heard about it, and it wasn't a year later until they launched Clover Press. And I was like, I want that one. And then it didn't work out, and I kept shopping for other ones. But then it came back around, and so that whole thing about being patient and trying to keep a good attitude, which is so true, but as artists, it's really hard, and it's really hard to be told no so many times. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited. So now my job is to just really make sure I knock this book out of the park, and hopefully create a really fun, entertaining story that people can enjoy.
I think that's amazing. I mean, really, that is it. Determination is the name of the game. And for creative people, because this is your heart and your soul spilled out onto the page, yeah. When somebody's like, I don't like it, then it crushes everything. Oh. And so good for you for just keeping at it. And in San Diego, you guys are notorious. Your shows, everybody knows who Digital Lizards of Doom are. You got like this crazy fun, like you say in your little commercial, Saturday morning cartoon vibe. And you got a lot of 80s and 90s kids. And we woke up early on Saturday mornings to jump in there and watch those Saturday morning cartoons. And it's like reliving that part of your childhood.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. It's just an amazing vibe that you guys have going on. I'm so excited for you. Now, you guys recently did an Indiegogo to help fund some of the printing, right?
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, because that's normally not what would happen well, I don't want to say it wouldn't happen. I guess, anybody can launch a book in a number of ways these days, but we mainly did the Indiegogo campaign because of COVID-19, because just the publisher and we all just kind of agreed, like, we don't know we can count on. Diamond Distributors had announced a month or two before the campaign. They had announced that, which is, for those of you who don't know, Diamond Distributors is the largest comic book distribution company in the world, and they had said that they're out of the game, that they were shutting down. So it was like the Clover Press went like, okay, so we need to do direct to consumer. That's what we need to focus on. We can't rely on comic book shops. We can't rely on bookstores. We can't rely on conventions. So we really need to focus on direct to consumer. And what's the best way to do that? So they came up with the Indiegogo was their idea, and I have never done one before. I've put money towards a lot of them, but I've never done one myself, so it was a bit daunting. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, we need to make sure that we sell a certain amount of copies, or else, well, we don't want to talk about what else happens after that. So then I was like super scary, and I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna do? So yeah, and it was, I threw everything I had at it. I tried to get all my friends to share it. I tried to get a bunch of people on Instagram that were connected to the nerd scene and different like geek fandoms and stuff like that to share it. And we ended up doing 3.5 times our requested goal, which was $10,000, and we ended up doing $35,000, which is just totally insane. So now everyone that worked on the book gets paid, and that makes me really happy. So yeah, it's crazy. It's really bizarre.
Wow, that's so exciting. Now, the music that goes along with it. I know that you have a couple different music videos where you've featured your puppets, and you have puppets that have been made of all the characters. Now, how did that come about? Was that something that you decided to do for a music video, or did you always have the intention of having these physical representations of your characters?
So I always wanted just D-Lod to be whatever it allowed itself to turn into. So I definitely wanted puppets because I've always been a fan of the Muppets, for one. Mm-hmm. And so it's been a goal for a long time to have like our own little mini puppet show, I guess. So and we're working on a series right now, like a small YouTube series. So that was already in the cards, and I wanted people to be able to interact with the characters, like read about them and then interact with them, or interact with them and then go and read about them. Be like, I met that guy, and also too, part of that is I don't consider myself a showman at all, or everyone's like, well, you're a front man and stuff, and I don't like that word, or I consider myself very shy and very introverted. And so, but if you're gonna have a band, you need a front man. You need someone or something that's otherworldly, that transcends that human thing. You can't be a human up there. You gotta be, some kind of extraterrestrial being. And that's not me, or at least I don't feel like that's me. So, and even when I perform, I kind of have to go to a different place because I'm just not really good at that stuff. So I said, what's the best way to do this? And I was like, well, I already have these characters, so making the characters the stars of the show helps me hide behind the music a bit, and it gives me kind of an escape. So it's not really me performing. I can just be the storyteller, and then people can be focused on the characters, and they can be looking for the characters when they're going to come out. And we're going to try to eventually, once we get bigger budgets and stuff, have more visuals on stage, and more things that I feel like I'm slowly going to be just like pushed to the back, but that's the way I want it. And then kind of let the characters take over the show. And I don't know if anyone's ever seen the band like Tool or the Gorillaz, but something in that vein where the performers, the show is the characters, and the people who are performing the music, they're more of like the just the band, and that's kind of where like my comfort zone is. I would prefer to be the guy in the background making the stuff, but having the characters get all the attention. I would like there to be a line of people wanting to take pictures with Dizzy while I can go and just hang out. And I don't want people to really want to take a picture with me. They can take pictures of Commander Echo and Dizzy, and I want those guys to be the rock stars, and I'm just the guy. I'm just the guy that makes music. So
yeah. You're just sort of the creative force powering it all. That's all. But yeah. So
well,
that's
you make it sound cooler than that. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, you talked a little bit about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Muppets. What were some things like when you were growing up that you start seeing pieces that appear in Digital Lizards of Doom, things that inspired you, things that you knew for sure that you wanted to try and mix into this recipe?
As much like everything. Everything. So for example, like in book 1, our like the major badass of the story, her name is Dana Deathly, and she is a ninja, and when she rescues Dizzy from a thing that happens, and when she rescues him, she's yeah, no spoilers. She says, "My name is Dana Deathly, and I'm here to rescue you." And then he responds with, "Aren't you a little tall to be a..." Oh, never mind. So little things like that, like just these little Easter eggs, even if you want to call them, that just reference this stuff that we've all known and loved. Even down to, there's a scene in the first book where let me make sure I can remember this correctly. Commander Echo's ship comes out of the sky, and one person says, it's a blob, and another person says it's a pineapple, and another person says it's super stinky Commander Echo. And so like little references like this. So the goal is to have as many references to pop culture and comics and cartoons and video games and all these different stories and movies that we all love, but at the same time not to rely on those things, have it be its own story. So you get to enjoy a story, but it also has these little sweet moments, I guess, for you to be like, oh, okay, that's really funny. That's from that or whatever. But at the same time, like we really tried hard to not rely on just making it relying on that nostalgia, because it's like that's only going to get you so far. That'll be cute for a couple pages, but at the end of the day, I really want this to be a story people can like sink their teeth into. So
now, can you give us, without giving too much away, a little kind of summary of the plot and where we're going to be taken on in this first book?
Totally. So Dizzy Doom and Klugus, which is Dizzy Doom's best friend, they are known as shokunin, and in Japanese, shokunin means craftsman. So they're basically like craftsmen of currents. They're like whatever planet they're on, they can control certain things. So it's their version of magic. So they're indoctrinated a very certain way. They've never left the planet that they were born and live on, and they're peacekeepers, almost like the Jedi. They have a code. They stick to it. They're there to protect themselves and the other planets that are around them. But this revengeful robot who was banished eons ago has returned, and Kraglodon, which is the name of the planet they're born on, is the last planet that's standing in his way of assimilation of all of the other planets. They're like, Kraglodon is one of the strongest planets. So they know this thing exists, and they're basically just kind of glorified guardsmen, I guess. And so they're not really looking for a war. They're not prepared for a war. They just think they're going to live out their days protecting this kingdom. But this evil robot returns, and as the robot returns, Dizzy Doom starts to realize that not everything that they've been taught about their way of life, about where their planet comes from and their history, is true. He quickly notices there's some plot holes in there about what they've been told to believe. So that being said, the robot does his thing, and they have to leave the planet. And so the journey is Dizzy looking for not just answers to what is true and what isn't true, but also how to destroy this massive robot that just is way too powerful and can basically just assimilate any of these planets he wishes, and how to defeat this evil. Which, by the way, Commander Echo stands for electronic killing organism. So he can just like jack into planets and take all of their knowledge and turn them into what he is.
Commander Echo's the giant robot force.
Yes. Yeah. So that's his goal. That's Dizzy's goal, is to search the galaxy for answers and find out how he can, what tools he needs to gather to defeat this evil.
Very cool. Now, one really unique thing about this is like you have people who do comic books, but you have a comic book plus puppets plus music. Now, you as a musician, how long have you been writing music, performing music, and what sort of brought this out? Was it the comic book birthed the songs, or did the songs birth the comic book, or which way did it go?
I would say I've been writing music since I was about probably 14 or 15. And that was the first thing I actually felt good at. I always wanted to draw, but I could never draw. I always wanted to be really good at video games, and I was just never good at video games. So I just stuck to RPG games because I was like, oh, I can make decisions. I feel like I'm a good decision maker, so stuck to RPGs. So I really got into music around 14, and that's when I really was like, okay, I think I found my thing. Like, I can do this. This is something I think I can do. And but music has always been a way to tell a story. I've always wanted to be a storyteller. Like when I mentioned drawing, like I wanted to be able to bring people's stories to life. And I thought that was such a cool gift for people who can draw. I've just always been in awe of people who can draw. It's just like, it blows my mind that someone can take something out of their head and put it down on a piece of paper. I think that's the coolest thing. And I've never been able to do that. So my version of that is storytelling. So that I would have to say this, the words come first and then they get turned into a song, because I don't think my brain could do it the other way. I don't think, because I've actually had people be like, oh, I wrote this song, but it doesn't have any lyrics. Can you put lyrics to it? And I can come up with themes like, oh, this is a sad song, or this sounds like a violent song. But for me, it always starts with the words. It always starts with the story itself, and then that will bloom into everything else. That will create the tone of the song. You know, if it's a happy story, it'll be a happy song. If it's a sad song, it'll be a sad story. So that's kind of how I go about with creating pretty much all of the art that I create myself.
Very cool. So yeah, and your songs are really amazing too. Just really so much fun. It's just such a happy, like crazy, upbeat kind of music, and I'm really looking forward to reading the comic. I did contribute to the Indiegogo, so I should be getting one pretty soon. And
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm a big fan. So I really like just the whole feeling and the whole atmosphere that you're creating. I think is something that's just is something we really need, especially with things being so dark and dismal like they are right now. And but you are just uplifting so many people with what you do, with your storytelling, with your gift, and I think that that's an amazing thing. So
thank you so much. It is a weird time, and I feel like, you know, there's a couple books that I have on my shelf actually that I need to read, a couple comics that I haven't been able to read yet because it's a little too dark right now for like what I want to read. My Hulu and my Netflix choices have been like Steven Universe and Adventure Time lately. Not a lot of super heavy stuff, but I'm not saying I don't like that stuff, because I will get back to it. But for now, yeah, I really just feel like there's enough. I want to say a-hole because I don't know if we can cuss on the show, but there's enough a-holes in the world right now, and that's not what I want to put out. And again, for those of you who are making darker, grittier stories, I am not saying, like, I'm not talking down about that. I'm just saying for me and myself, what I want to contribute, I want to put out just stuff that takes me out of that world, you know, out of the darkness, out of the negativity, and just put something together where heroes are heroes and they're fighting evil. You know, it's a very simple thing, but the villains are clear and the heroes are clear, their motives are clear, and you're rooting for the guys to win and you're rooting for the bad guys to lose. So that's kind of where I'm at with my writing and stuff right now.
yeah, you're creating a balance in a world where we're lacking that at the moment. So
Yeah.
Now, if people are interested in following your shows, in following your comic book or anything else that you start to, you know, put yourself into, where can they find you? What's the best place for them to get in touch with you, to find you online or wherever?
So our website is dlodworld.com. And if you sign up on our mailing list, we send you a free something. Like, I think we change it every couple months. But right now, I think you get a free album right now. And then before, you got a free T-shirt. So we kind of switch it up. But we're always on Instagram. I haven't been on a lot of social media lately because of just kind of like just too much noise, you know, so I've kind of been off of social media myself. But we have an incredible team. Shout out to Dylan Davidson, who is he's a genie. That guy is just absolute magic, and he is always on all of our socials, and he is just talking to everybody, and so you can talk to us on Instagram at it's just Digital Lizards of Doom, all one word, or on Twitter at DLOD World, and then Facebook as well is just at DLOD World. And but I'll be back on there soon. We're wrapping up. We're actually wrapping up book 2 right now. So I just finished writing book 2, and we're getting ready to go into the process of all that stuff. But yeah, I'll be back on there soon once I feel more like peppy. That might be too much information, but I don't want to be on there like all bumming on people. You know, I want to be like, "What's up, guys?" So, but eventually, yeah, I'll be back on there. But you can still talk to us. Dylan's on there all the time, and yeah, we'd love to hear some new people and see what you guys think about the little thing that we're trying to make.
Very cool. And we should definitely talk about the Pineapple Posse.
Yes.
Yes.
Pineapple Posse. The Pineapple Posse is one of Dylan's creations, and he was like, and again, I'm so bad at this stuff because I'm so bad at self-promoting. I'm so bad at just a lot of the nitty-gritty stuff that comes with, you know, making this. But yeah, Dylan was like, dude, we need like a fan club, and I was like, I don't want to. It's a weird word, like fan club. I don't know. And he's like, well, we don't have to call it that, but we need something that people who are supporters can come and be a part of what's going on and help us get the word out there. I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, well, what should we call it? You know? And he's like, I don't know. We should call it like, if you don't like fan club, we should call it, you know, like the Pineapple Posse. And I'm like, that is perfect. So yeah, the Pineapple Posse is on Facebook, and we basically just send you information and give you inside scoops on things that are going to come out or going on, and then we just ask you to share it with your friends and your family, and then we're going to start doing, once events become a thing again, we can all meet in public again, we're going to start doing like special Pineapple Posse parties where it's exclusive for people who are part of the Pineapple Posse. They can come for free, and we can all just hang out, have game nights, and we're going to be renting certain venues out, and just having our crew of friends and family just come and hang out and play games with us and share their books, share their stories, share their whatever they're playing or reading, and just kind of build the community. Because community is super important and so hard right now it's like we don't have a community right now in person. We have to do everything online. So it's just it's a way so that we can all just share our art and get to know each other better and keep enjoying all the things that we love.
All right. Thank you so much, Gabe, and thank you for creating something beautiful and fun and lively in a time where we absolutely need it. And I'm looking forward to seeing book 2. Book 2 is Dana Deathly, right?
Book 3 is Dana Deathly.
Book 3 is
book
Dana
3.
Deathly.
Yeah. So it's Dizzy Doom, Commander Echo, Dana Deathly, Batcat Rogers, Shaky Spears, Spider Nose, Warty Morta, and then the 8th book will be another character that people will probably figure out soon enough.
All right. So he's whetting your appetite a little there, guys. So
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabe. It was amazing talking to you. All right. Stay creative.
Thank you so much. And what's cool? What should I be checking out at Horrorgasm this year? Name like 3 things.
Let's see. Well, there's the Haunted Library, which is pretty cool because it's not just art now. We have actually writers who are involved. You should definitely check out the Horrorgasm comic book, which is writing and art. So we got our own little comic anthology. It's a bunch of San Diego and actually we've got artists on the East Coast too who come in. They contribute their stories. They all come together, and there's a whole bunch of short stories that are featured in this. And then, of course, we've got art. We've got video. There's going to be presentations like dance and a lot of like more visual stuff. So it's really all kinds of art are going to be showcased for Horrorgasm. So
I love it.
Really great.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. And yeah, I'll see you around Horrorgasm, guys. And whoever's watching this, check out everything else. Where are my fingers? There they are.
There.
Check out everything else. And share people's stuff.
Yes. All right. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Special thanks to Gabe Valentine of the Digital Lizards of Doom. If you want to check out those digital lizards, if you want to get their book, you go to Deload World, that's DLODworld.com, and you'll find it there on Facebook, Deload World. And if you go to Twitter, Deload World as well, then on Instagram you can check them out at Digital Lizards of Doom, all one word. Or, same thing, on YouTube, Digital Lizards of Doom, all one word. Thank you so much to Savage C. Wellnar, our legendary announcer, and to Ethan Meixsell, who composed the You Mine theme song, Demilitarized Zone. It's a toe tapper. Patreon.com/LucidNap is where you can go if you want to help support the show, or buymeacoffee.com for small one-time donations. That also helps out a whole bunch too. You know what else you could possibly do? You could go to lostbreadcomic.com. You can buy prints, stickers. There's going to be more stuff coming up pretty soon. I've been pretty busy, but you know what? You can follow us and see what I'm busy with. All the social media links will be down below, and also Creeping Wave Radio. It's going to be coming to this station. It's going to be coming at you. You Mind will transform into the Creeping Wave audio drama, Creeping Wave Radio, and you'll be able to catch up with all your favorite guests and their hijinks and all the great musical bands that we have in this San Diego area and beyond. It's going to be pretty exciting, so make sure you stay tuned for that and catch up on the old episodes. Catch up. You know what? Just thanks for following, even if you're not catching up, because we appreciate you and we need people like you listening or watching or whatever you choose to do. Yeah. Because there's no show without you guys. There's just me screaming into a microphone for however long, and yeah. But special thanks to the Grimerica Show, Nikki Benfield, and the lovable Neil, who are our Patreons, and we love them dearly because they make this happen. They make it possible. And now, let us give thanks to those who have donated to our Indiegogo: Vanessa Cook Farmer, Sharon L. Marcotte, Quantel Langford, Nixie Von Rose, Ali Ross, Anonymous Donor, Strontium, Jennifer Cooksey, the Lords of Petoskey, Delmar C. Antonio, and Nik Hill. Thank you so very, very much. The U Mind is brought to you by LucidNet Productions in cooperation with the Scary Old Man.
I'm not that scary.
Don't
I don't
be so.
try to be, but I just am.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You don't have to find an interdimensional saloon to have a pint of alien beer with me, Chrissy Garrison. Just tune into my Alien Beer podcast each Thursday, and I'll share my speculative fiction stories with you. And every other week, I'll be serving up a new installment in my science fiction serial, The Multiverse Blues. Meanwhile, catch up with me at sillyhatbooks.com/podcast. See you there.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.